today we're coming from DC to live for our podcast, which is our Bears Breaking It Down. So today I want to welcome my interim co-host, also the great daughter of Birmingham, Victoria Thompson, decided that she would join us today.
What a pleasure. What an honor.
And today we have Mayor Vivian Blouses, plenty to call her mayor from our friend for so long that she's state legislator and all those other things, but she is visiting here with us from the great city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. What's up? I'm so pleased to be here. Victoria, I know you're still getting to know Bear Flowers, so
Yes.
what you going to ask her?
Okay, Megan, I have a question for you. I am a fellow Southern girl, but I have never been to Pine Bluff. Can you tell me a little bit more? I'm still keeping what's going on there.
We have no secrets. We are loud and proud. We had to be. We were very significant in the Civil War, and we're a place of refuge after the Civil War for Black people who came from all over to seek opportunity, to seek an education. And that's because we have what is now the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Before that, it was Amen College. That's where my parents met. And before that, it was Branch Normal College, which has an incredibly rich history, is a land grant institution, and what the previous chancellor called the Diamond of the South. And that's what it has been for so many people, but they call it your mother. So that is, UAKB is really, in so many ways, a nuclear. Aside from that, we really are the home, I think, the makings of Black Wall Street in Arkansas and Tulsa, Oklahoma, because the gentleman who took his success to Tulsa actually came from Pine Bluff, where he was an entrepreneur and owned a streetcar service that is today our transit service. He actually sold it to the city. So, I mean, the history is so rich. So we are not embellishing. We call it a historic city. It was the second largest city of Arkansas for a long time. We're an agricultural state, and the agriculture took place and still takes place in Southeast Arkansas and in the Delta, in the Arkansas Delta. So we're very proud people, hardworking people. You were referred to by, it was either Booker T. Washington or Du Bois. I don't know which one said it. They called Pine Bluff the Negro paradise of the South. And then, the M4 Martian machine is also not shy about representing Pine Bluff. I mean, we're still well known for so many things, but our history is rich and strong, and has been a place of innovation and history and refuge and freedom and opportunity, just all the things. So we are not, I mean, just like many cities, we fell victim, I think, to racism and white flight. We fell victim to drugs and violence, but we are definitely on our way back. People have high expectations, and they should. And so I was just so excited and really grateful and honored that the people saw fit to trust me and elect me to help lead us away forward to progress. We're the city of progress. Well, that's our tagline, and we're sticking to it. I like that. Progress, okay. So I know Vivian's not from Little Rock, but I want people to know that Pine Bluff is only 45 minutes from yes. But what you don't know, Victoria, is the flower's name is legendary in the state of Arkansas. It's Mahia. And so they have an expectation in their veil that you're either going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or Baptist. But it's not quite like that. People think that. There's the reason everybody thinks that, because Vivian's father was a pediatrician, right? That's right. And a registered attorney. No, I have a cousin who is an attorney. My brother works for the railroad. And really, I don't call him this because he doesn't wear it, but he really is an artist. He is an incredible poet. So you guys are creative also, but a lot of creatives in my family. My cousin is an attorney. He's a DJ. He is an entrepreneur. And when he was doing a lot of his DJ work, what did he call himself? I can't even remember what he called himself. But I mean, he wore both of those hats and was proud of it. He was proud of him. But my cousins are amazing in so many ways. Everybody's an entrepreneur, though.
Okay.
Like, we believe in working for ourselves, for sure. If we're not serving, we're going to work for ourselves. I have several cousins who are nurses and in the health field, for sure. And in law, but many who are entrepreneurs.
So from your grandfather, was it grandfather, grandfather on how many were that?
My grandfather on down. None of us became physicians.
Now your uncle, who was in that good circus? I'm like, oh, that was.
I'm sorry, my grandfather on down. Okay, so among his children, and there were 6 of them. My dad's pediatrician. His daughter was a general family medical doctor. 2 of his sons were pharmacists. One is still a pharmacist. And then one was a dentist, and he's since passed away off the planet. And then I had one uncle who is a businessman. He was hustle man, entrepreneur. And the ironic thing is people have this perception of wealth in service because of medicine and the law. My grandfather's brother was an attorney. They really were about service. So many of us have kind of gone into our fields to become wealthy or become rich. As people like to say, we all kind of do okay, but we could all stand. We would all like to really make money. The one who didn't go into service, it probably is the wealthiest one of all.
Well, Mayor, we said you've been mayor for about a month now, right?
A year. 1 year and 29 days. Today's 29, right?
The 29 days.
Yeah, a year, 29 days.
A year and a month. How's it been going for you?
I'll say this. I probably have enjoyed a political honeymoon longer than I deserve. So I have no complaints, but the honeymoon's over. The honeymoon's all right, and that's okay. But we have really, really worked hard. It's been trying to do a lot. I think we've gotten a lot done, and there's a lot more work to do. We came in with priorities around youth investment, economic development, and public safety. As it relates to youth investment, we have brought on in ourselves for interns, established a budget line item for interns just in my office, increased the budget for floaters so that we could encourage young people to come and get some experience and be able to work when needed. And we are bringing back a youth council. We have renewed the contract with Boys and Girls Club in terms of our parks and rescue programs, but also brought in another organization called EAC 8, which focuses on STEAM initiatives as well as athletic initiatives in one of our park facilities that was virtually, we're actually literally empty. So we have 2 really strong programs going, but aside from that, we're bringing together independent leagues in baseball so that they can work together with the city of Pine Bluff Parks and Rec, serving as a central focal point for resources, for sign up, for information administration, and that kind of thing. We also found, one of the things that was a highlight in what I promised the people was transparency and accountability. And that doesn't mean that, I tell everybody what I'm doing all the time, before anything happens. I mean, that it has to be measured, but it has to be honest, it has to be fair, it has to be timely. And I think we've done that and, work to change some policies so that what the city council and the mayor's office does is more transparent just in the process at council meetings. But just in terms of young people, like hiring on more young people, forging really strong partnership with UAPB as well as CR and our school districts. And so it's taking a little time, but you can see some of the outcomes. And I think for the first time in a long time, the young people had a different expectation as well. And they're, I don't think they're like, yeah, things are happening, but I think they want things to happen. They see that they could happen, and many of them are getting involved. As far as economic development, and our focus in economic development is largely on infrastructure and on tourism. We have a gaming organization, Casino, and they are about to open a hotel and convention center. Our own convention center has undergone a few, cosmetic upgrades, but we're really looking forward to making some increases in our revenue so we can do a full-scale renovation to match the new hotel that will open at the end of the year or next year that's adjacent to it. So, we'll have a place for people to come stay with for homecoming, weddings, family reunions, conferences. But, we want for our own destinations and things for people to do and see to be highlighted for the people who live in Pine Bluff as well as for visitors. And so we're super excited about the development of Bayou Bartholomew. Bayou Bartholomew is the longest bayou in the world, is nestled and centered in the heart of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. And so we're about to undergo a huge development that will feature canoeing and trails, and we're the natural state, and so we're excited that we will be able to feature some of the most beautiful streams and areas in the state of Arkansas, and be an attraction in that regard. We're already like a huge bird watching locale. People don't know Bayou Bartholomew is the second most diverse tributary or water environment in the country. So there's a lot to do and see, and we got to get our city ready for that. And so that's why infrastructure is so important, and not just landscaping and even hardscapes and outdoor art, but fixing our streets, fixing our potholes, fixing our drainage systems, working in conjunction with, a $30 to $50 million project. And all of those things together, we know, because this is not rocket science, we know will bring jobs, will bring industry. So I have assembled a CEO roundtable, many of whom are not from Pine Bluff or operate outside of Pine Bluff, but if we're wanting investment, we have to make people know that we're hoping for business. We are no longer operating just on a trajectory and narrative of charity. We need charity just like every community does, just like every city does. Whether it's to deal with our unhoused or families affected by domestic violence. Yes, and we will continue to do that. But, we as a kid say about the Benjamins too. And that means that we have to demonstrate that for those who are ready to invest, or to invest more, that there will be a return on investment. So those are the sort of focus areas for economic development. And public safety, none of that happens without public safety. If people don't feel safe in the community, and starting with your constituents, starting with the residents, certainly visitors don't feel safe, right? Even your personnel don't feel safe. Your police officers don't feel like. So safety is really important. I waited probably just short of 100 days to make any decisions about any changes in the departments, to give it a fair chance to see, where are we, what is it doing, what do we need to do, what's happening with the money, what's happening with the resource. Do people have needs to be able to effectively do their jobs? How is the mayor's office helping all of that happen? And so we put some things in place, but at some point before I had to deliver my said, but well, I'm trying to think back. Maybe it was after, but in March. Look, last year it's a lot of Sabbath, but in March, I had to make a change, and I made changes in police department. I mean, I did a separation there, and our fire and emergency services department chief also decided to retire. So it was a big, I think probably the most important decisions that I made in 2025 was the hiring of our new grace chief and our new fire chief. And that was the last decision I made in 2025, was to make those hires and to swear those leaders in. And I know it was the right decision. And it took the whole year to go through a process. And I'm going to tell you, what I thought it was going to be, it ended up being something completely different, because a process fleshed out that didn't just involve me. I appointed, I think, a really stellar team of leaders to help vet the applications and to create a process that enabled us to, really see kind of, this is what our city needs. These are the best candidates for us to interview. And then here's our recommendation, Mayor Flowers, for you to consider. And even that process, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be at first, because I did my own interviews. I actually sat down with the rank and file in both the fire and police departments, and they played a huge part in me making the decisions that I made. So I feel good about it. I feel good about 2025, and I feel very hopeful and excited about 2026. She's been out of say she's been working.
Yes.
But one thing people say, and I love it, that young people on campus, that you say to, first of all, they call me Aunt Viv, which they say, Aunt Viv don't play. I'm in charge of the people's money. I'm in charge of, the people's safety. I'm in charge, I feel, of people's hopes and dreams about the biggest investment they'll make in their homes. There's an effort for some development in the area of my city. I didn't know all the nuances prior to speaking with the developer. They wanted help with the grant, and I ended up having to say, we're going to pump the brakes on that. There are things you would tell me, and now I know people don't want this. As long as they don't want this in their community, I cannot support it, and that's God too, kind of giving discernment, allowing things to come to you, putting you in a place to know what's going on, even when you don't know what's going on. And then that hindsight is always 2020. You're like, wait, what were they trying to do to, and what were they trying to do to me? Like, I think that there is something at work here that is so not about me, and but there's responsibility for me for sure. I see that. That's not like fake humility, but outside of me, there are things at work that require me to be obedient and require me to be quiet, require me to not pay attention to all the fair and unfair criticisms in my decision making, because the decision making has to be about what's best for the city. The people, I'm very clear about that. So while they're trying to give us the bigger thing in our conversation, why belt? What else is there? Wow. Was that a little shade? And then you'd be more clear, because I am also a proud member of a D9 family. So when I say that, though, I talked earlier about how the people in my family for generations have been service-minded and service-focused. And when I was younger, my mom wanted to pledge Delta, but didn't have the money, and she was at college. And she later pledged in a Love Me chapter. She's a Delta deer, and so that example was set forth under women in my family. Larger contingent of women in my family are Deltas. So when you had that sort of history working for you, it makes you look deeper, right? And when I read the history of Delta Sigma Theta and Sorority Incorporated and the women who have served in the dynamic way in which they have served, and just the diversity of women and the kind of power, it just, for me, there was nothing else. And so I'm so excited and proud, and a lot of people know now, didn't know at the time, that I pledged while I was camping, which was a crazy decision. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And I still say I didn't do it, the Lord did it for me. I mean, I had a lot of stories to say I could have gone very differently, and how even people who were trying to derail me, when they, announced over airwaves that I was pledging Delta Sigma Theta, all he did was let all of my future sorors know that their mayor could be a Delta. So, I don't know if I can afford to pay for that kind of, announcement. So it was a wonderful experience. And it's like two things that really are just lifetime goals and honors happening and converging simultaneously. It is just the perfect. So thank you, Fair Flowers, for joining us today. I'm sorry I talk so much. I really would love more questions to hear what people think and want to know about Pine Bluff, but this has been a great podcast opportunity. Well, thank you.
Yes, we loved having you so much.
After we cut to break, I'll tell you one of my film snippets and stories.
Oh, please.
I just want. All righty, you guys. It's a wrap on our Bears Breaking It Down podcast.